February 25th, 2020. It's our regular council meeting. As you all know, every second and fourth Tuesday of the month, this is our regular council meeting. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Estimé Irvin.
Present.
Vice Mayor Desilme.
Here.
Mayor Bienemé.
Here.
Councilman Galvin.
Here.
Councilwoman Keys. Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. And now we're gonna have invocation with who's gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance? We prepared that agenda. Nothing in there.
Just now.
Did you give? Did we have a new? Can you do another name? Sorry, and we're gonna have the invocation by Pastor Ram L. Pierre from Église Baptiste Universelle de Jésus-Christ, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance with Assistant Chief Angel Riviera.
Mayor, for the record, as of 7:02 p.m., Councilwoman Keys is present.
Thank you very much. Yes.
My name is Pastor Salman Louis Pierre. I'm so delighted to be here this afternoon. I'm so annoying. Let us pray. Thank you, Lord, for your blessing. Thank you, Lord, because you are so kind. Thank you, Lord. We are here tonight to say a word for you because you are my God. I know you can do anything like you say in your word. Everything is possible. We ask you to bless us tonight. Whatever will be done shall be done in your name. We ask in you all by the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Please place your hands over your hearts. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have another agenda? Because it seems like mine is incomplete since I did not have that. I don't know who prepared that one. It's the same thing. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now we're gonna have special presentation. Let's move.
Where's my glasses?
The first presentation is by the police department for January 20, Officer of the Month.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Larry Juriga from the City of North Miami Police Department. Joining me this evening are some of our executive staff members, Assistant Chiefs Angel Rivera and Franzia Brea, along with Major Tim Belcher. And the officers of the month that we're going to recognize are Detectives Oswald Salian and Gideus Frederick. And if I could ask them to join us, please. As As they come forward, Detective Salian and Frederick are being recognized for their commitment to the protection of the citizens of the city of North Miami, especially our children. The detectives responded to the hospital where they met a 12-year-old victim. Sadly, it was found that this 12-year-old juvenile was several weeks pregnant. Further investigation by these detectives revealed that an adult male had groomed the victim by buying her presents and food. Eventually, this led to the juvenile being manipulated to engage in sexual activities with this offender. The detectives were able to positively identify the subject, apprehend him, and bring this dangerous predator into the station. Now, through hours of an interview, mind you, these two guys in a small interview room with this subject, who they know has committed this heinous act, through hours and hours of interviewing, they were able to obtain a confession from the subject in which he admitted to the despicable acts. The offender was subsequently arrested and appropriately charged, and by apprehending this predator, these gentlemen prevented the victim from being victimized any further and prevented anyone else from being in danger from this subject. So please join me in congratulating them on protecting our children. They're going to fight over who's going to talk. Gideus is senior, so he can do it.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I want to thank our staff, our councilmen. We do our job because we do our job. We do our job to help people. It's unfortunately, we're being recognized for this right now, but unfortunately, we appreciate the award, but at the same point in time, some victim actually was victimized to do this. But I do appreciate it and appreciate everybody else here tonight. Thank you.
So on behalf of the mayor and the council, Detective Oswald Salian for Officer of the Month. Congratulations, sir. Also, Detective Gideus Frederick.
The second presentation is in honor of Rare Disease Month, presented to Raphael Jean Charles, special education teacher at North Miami Senior High School. Mr. Raphael Charles. This proclamation is read as follows: whereas there are nearly 7,000 diseases and conditions considered rare, each affecting fewer than 200,000 Americans in the United States of America, according to the National Institute of Health. And whereas, while each of those diseases may affect small members of people, rare disease as a group affect almost 30 million Americans, and whereas many rare diseases are serious and they have a significant impact on the lives of those affected, and whereas while more than 450 drugs and biologics have been approved for the treatment of rare disease according to the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, millions of Americans still have rare disease for which there is no approved treatment. And whereas individuals and families affected by rare disease often experience problems such as diagnosis delay, difficulty of funding and medical expert, and lack of access to treatment. Whereas, while the public is familiar with some rare disease, many patients and families affected by less than widely known rare disease bear a large share of the burden and funding research and raising public awareness to support such treatments. And whereas residents of the city of North Miami are among those affected by those diseases because nearly 1 in 10 Americans have rare disease, and whereas the National Organization for Rare Disease is organizing a national observance of Rare Disease Day in February. And Rare Disease Day in the city of North Miami, and urged residents to recognize the work and contributions of Raphael Jean-Charles, special education teacher at North Miami Senior High School, for his efforts and devotion to the program in the city of North Miami and in the North Miami community. And whereas I, Mayor Philip Bien-Aimé of the city of North Miami, recognize Mr. Raphael Jean-Charles for the month of Rare Disease Day.
I just wanted to say very quickly, thank you for giving the opportunity to proclamate Rare Disease Day. Internationally, it's the last day in February. This year, it's a big thing because it's leap year. And I think some of you, if you've been here at council meetings previous years, we've proclamated the day in honor of my stepdaughter. But I felt that other people in the community are also affected with it. And I know Raphael personally, his son and my son are in the Scouts. And I know he's a wonderful person, and what he does in the schools with these kids with different disabilities, some being with rare disease, is something I felt needed to be commended. And so I asked for the city this year to make sure to proclamate it to someone in the community, and I hope every year to always, well, I know enough people in the community where every year we will bring the awareness and bring different people that are affected by it. So thank you, Mayor, thank you, council people, thank you for the support.
Thank you very much for this distinguished honor. It is hard for me right now to express in words how it feels to be recognized by something that I love to do. Teaching is not like a profession that you go for money. Okay, it's like truly a work of art. Okay. So I've been doing this for 18 years now, and believe it, this student taught me how to be patient, open-minded, and most of all, perseverance. Now, it shows that teacher can also be student. And we cannot stop learning from each other. Thank you very much.
Where's the agenda? Thank you very much, and now let's go to the agenda. Mr. City Manager, do we have any addition, deletions, or amendment or deferral to the agenda?
None at this time, sir.
Thank you very much. City Attorney, is the agenda set?
Yes, Mayor, the agenda set. You may proceed.
Thank you very much, and now, city events. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, North Miami neighbors, and guests. My name is Eunicia Baker, and I'm the Senior Public Information Officer, and it is my pleasure to share some of our city's upcoming events, programs, and initiatives with you. The City of North Miami is now accepting Golden Passport applications for qualified seniors and Social Security beneficiaries to ride the Metro Rail and Metro Bus at no cost year-round. To sign up, visit the City of North Miami Customer Service Center on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. Need help filing your taxes? The AARP Foundation provides free tax return preparations for low and moderate income taxpayers and seniors at the North Miami Public Library every Thursday, beginning February 6th from 10:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Assistance will be available until April 9th. Friday, February 28th at 7 p.m. Join us at the Joe Celestine Center for the NOMI Honors in appreciation of business and community leaders. This once-a-year event is cultivated to honor South Florida's brightest business community leaders who are making an impact locally and beyond within their specific industries. An RSVP is required. Please visit www.nomihonors.eventbrite.com to reserve your ticket. Seating begins at 6 p.m. Jazz at Mocha will take place Friday, February 28th at 8 p.m. in Mocha Plaza. Nicole Yarling will take the stage for Black History Month's Jazz at Mocha concert series. Her unique sound, which combines voice, violin, and fiddle, will be on display. This is a rain or shine event. But if you arrive an hour early at 7 p.m., you'll be able to enjoy spoken word by the Arts Prevails Project, inspired by moments in Black history, a special dance performance by Marianne Benjamin, choreographed by Fluxus Hawes, founder Agatha Wright, free book giveaways at the Bookleggers Pop-Up Library, and Hamakas, a display currently on view at Mocha. This socially engaged project by Leanne Bosk is coordinated by Anna Clara Silva. The March for Education will make its way to North Miami Saturday, February 29th at 8 a.m. in Mocha Plaza. Join us as we raise awareness and celebrate education. This spirited event for parents, teachers, and students offers a variety of local resources and programs created and designed to help the community. Supporters of education will march in solidarity from Mocha Plaza to North Miami's Irons Manor Fountain. Register at www.marchforeducation2020.eventbrite.com. Applications for the 2020 Leaders in Training program are now available online at northmiamifl.gov. Applications are due by 5 p.m. Friday, March 6, 2020. The LIT program is for teens interested in building a professional resume. Contact or visit the Community Planning and Development Department for more details. The month of February will conclude with the return of NOMI Fest. The The 5th annual NOMI Fest will take place at Cagney Park on Saturday, February 29th. This year's headliner is CeeLo Green. The concert will also feature performances by Adina Howard, Sunshine Anderson, and Tanier. Plus, Kevin Little was recently added to the lineup to bring a little island flair. Early bird tickets are now on sale for $15 at www.nomifest.com. Proceeds from ticket sales support the City of North Miami's Water Utility Assistance Program, benefiting residents in financial distress. The month will conclude with the wrap-up, the official NOMI Fest after party at the NOMI Red Garden. This event will feature appearances by some of your favorite old school recording artists. For up-to-date information, please visit www.nomifest.com. Tickets are available for $20. The NOMI Library and Prosperity Social Community Development Group celebrates National Read Across America Day, aka Dr. Seuss Day, at the NOMI Library. This event takes place March 2nd at 5 p.m. and includes book readings with authors, performances, and book giveaways along with refreshments. Celebrity Story Time at the NOMI Library will take place Wednesday, March 11th at 4 p.m. and will feature former North Miami Mayor Dr. Smith Joseph. Kids ages 4 to 7 are encouraged to attend. Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé's first quarter business luncheon will take place Thursday, March 12th at 12 noon at FIU's Covens Conference Center. Sponsored by the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency, this quarter's topic is 1, Women Optimizing Now, which celebrates women leading in traditionally male-dominated industries during Women's History Month. An RSVP is required. Please do so at eventbrite.com. Parks and Recreation Spring Camp is March 23rd through March 27th at Keystone Community Center and Joe Celestine Center. Registration for residents is $100 and $120 for non-residents. 20% discounts on third sibling registration is also available. Fees include all trips, activities, daily snacks, and related transportation. Campers must bring bagged lunches. Visit northmiamifl.gov/parks to sign up or stop by the Parks and Recreation office to do so. You're invited to the North Miami Police Department's inaugural community potluck and cook-off on Friday, March 27th at 4 p.m. at Sunkist Grove Community Center. Bring your favorite dish and share and enjoy a full night to fellowship with neighbors. Contact the NMPD for more information at 305-891-0294, extension 23210. On March 18th at 10 a.m., join the Resilient NOMI Summit focused on tools, techniques, and takeaways in a changing environment filled with more severe storms, rising seas, elevating temperatures, and some of the greatest global threats leading to profound impacts on people, infrastructures, and natural systems. Don't miss these industry-leading panelists providing input on how we can survive, adapt, and create new resilient cities. This event will take place at the Wildcat Ballroom at Johnson & Wales University. RSVP on Eventbrite. For more information, contact the North Miami Community Planning and Development Department at 305-895-9825. Stay up to date with the latest happenings in the city of North Miami by visiting www.northmiamifl.gov and click on the Connect with NOMI icon on the homepage where you can sign up to receive the monthly newsletter. Residents may also like the city of North Miami on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This concludes today's announcements.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, before you go on, I would like just a little seconds of privilege just to recognize Pastor Salomon Ram and his beautiful wife from our city. I did not know they were on the agenda, but certainly they are living in our city, and thank you for all you do. I just wanted that privilege. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much, Pastor. And also, I thought you were gonna emphasize on the event is Saturday, right?
Yes, I'll do that. My council report. Doing the report, I'll do that.
Okay. Thank you very much. And now, can I hear a motion on the consent if we don't have any
So
question?
If somebody seconded, I
second
couldn't
it.
hear it.
Yeah.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab G, Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the city administration's competitive selection of United States Service Industries, Inc. as the highest-ranked contractor to furnish all materials, equipment, tools, machinery, supervision, expertise, and services necessary to provide janitorial services at city facilities as designated by city administration. In accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in the request for proposal, janitorial services RFP number 02-18-19. Further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute agreements with selected contractor for the provision of services for a combined annual amount not to exceed $207,293, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab G.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you under tab G is staff's request for your approval of the Evaluation Committee's recommendation to award RFP number 02-18-19, which was a solicitation issued by the Purchasing Department seeking proposals from experienced and qualified firms to provide the city with janitorial services. As reflected in the council report that was submitted in support of the item, the city clerk's office received 10 sealed proposals in response to this solicitation. 3 of those proposals were deemed to be non-responsive, and the remaining 7 were forwarded to the Evaluation Committee for their review and evaluation. On the second page of the council report, you will see the results of the Evaluation Committee interviews and a recommendation as the top-ranked firm of United States Services Industries Incorporated. The proposed contract is for 1 year, with the initial 6 months being a trial period, and then it has an option to renew for 4 additional 1-year periods at a total amount, annual amount not to exceed $207,293. Attached to the council report, you will find a copy of the solicitation, the Evaluation Committee tabulation and their scores, as well as a proposal from the recommended firm. This concludes my presentation of the item. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to take them. Also in the audience is a representative from the firm in the event that you have any questions of the firm. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any question on the dais?
Move approval.
Do you,
Second, yes, I have questions.
second, yeah, we're gonna open it. Do we have any question now? Now let's open it to the public.
Well, we can do it after.
You wanna do it after?
Yes,
That's
please.
fine. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is now closed. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So, I have a couple of questions. Well, I have a question for you. So you said that this is going to be initially for a year, 6 months approval. 6 months of evaluation, correct? Or probationary period?
An initial trial period, if you will.
A
to
trial
see-
period.
To
Okay.
see how they perform.
Okay, and how will that be determined and,
Well, there are a number of sort of performance standards and performance criteria in the solicitation itself with regards to the performance of their janitorial duties. And so there are lead members for each one of the departments that we have gathered together, and they'll be reporting to us in terms of their performance. So this will be sort of periodic performance. I suppose like monthly, we'll get reports from them. So if at the end of the first 6 months, they're deemed to be satisfactory, then we'll continue with them.
and if they're not deemed to be satisfactory, what is the process?
Well, then we have a couple of options. Because this was a selection by the committee, by an evaluation committee, we can move on to the next ranked firm. Or we can also, if it's the desire of the administration, we can also proceed to reissue another solicitation. But ordinarily, when you have a ranking like this, if the top ranked firm doesn't work out, you typically go on to the next ranked firm and so forth and so on. If the second ranked firm doesn't work out, you go on to the third ranked firm. So that is typically what happens.
Okay, I have another question. Did this firm take advantage of the local preference?
No, none of the firms that you see on the list, that are listed there on the second page, none of them qualified for local preference.
Okay. Are the, well, is a representative here? May I speak with?
There is a
May I question,
representative
please?
that's present.
Councilman Meyer.
Good evening.
Okay,
I'm Jairo Castro. I'm the operations manager for USSI.
okay, thank you.
Thank
you for
you.
being here. I just wanted to know, are you based here locally?
Yes. We have the operation Coral Spring. That's the office that I operate, and we cover the South and Broward County locations. So we do have, the main office in Coral Spring.
Okay, and in terms of hiring, do you plan on hiring or giving preference to? I know you didn't qualify here with our local preference, but do you plan to perhaps hire North Miami or give preference to North Miami residents?
Absolutely, yes. We
Okay.
do have we do a background check. We get the local offices that, for example, that they have solicitation of people looking for jobs in the janitorial area. We do an interview. We do a background, and after that, we do training.
Are you open to having maybe a job fair here to give an opportunity so that the local residents here can take opportunities of
Yes.
your job?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
just wanted to know that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Question, just one question. Do you guys used to service City of Miami? Is it the same company, City of Miami Police Department?
Miami, no.
Miami, okay, thank you.
All right.
Any other questions? None?
Move to approve.
Second.
It was already moved.
Madam
to
Clerk?
approve and seconded.
No, we already moved.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman
Yeah,
Keyes
that's
to
what I-
approve the item at
Keep it
tab
going,
G.
keep
The
it going.
motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab H.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the selection of EnviroWaste Services Group, Inc., Instituform Technologies, LLC, and National Water Main Cleaning Company as 3 lowest responsive and responsible contractors for the provision of sanitary sewer rehabilitation services for a total project cost not to exceed $4,214,790 in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in invitation for bid number 38-1819, citywide rehabilitation of the sanitary sewer system. Further authorizing the interim city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute agreements for the provision of stated services with the 3 lowest responsive and responsible contractors, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab H.
Thank you very much. Once again, for the record, Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you under tab H represents the results of solicitation titled IFB number 381819, issued by the Purchasing Department for the purpose of requesting bids from qualified and experienced contractors to provide the city with rehabilitation of the city's sanitary sewer system. As reflected in the council report submitted in support of the item, the city clerk's office received 8 sealed bids in response to this solicitation. Each proposal and the qualifications of each contractor were reviewed by staff in conjunction with the city's engineering consulting firm, Craven Thompson and Associates, which is recommending award for the following 4 categories that were listed in this solicitation. The 4 categories are listed on the second page of your council report, and there's further explanation for each. The first category is Group A, which is titled Excavated Point Repairs. And this particular category is being awarded to the firm EnviroWaste Services Group Incorporated as the low bidder. The next category of repairs is Group B, which is manhole rehabilitations. And this category is being also awarded to EnviroWaste also as the low bidder. The next category in these repairs is Group C, and this is titled Mainline Lining. And the low bidder for this category is the firm Instituform Technologies, LLC. And the final category in these repairs is Group D, and it's titled Lateral Lining and mainline sectional lining. And the low bidder for this particular category was the firm National Water Main Cleaning Company. And again, these categories are all listed on the second page of your council report. The recommendation from staff is for award to these three low bidders for the four categories in an aggregate amount not to exceed $4,214,790. The term for completion shall be not to exceed 1 year from the issuance of the city's notice to proceed. Here with me tonight in support of this item is the city's Public Works Director, Mr. Wissa Pierre-Louis, as well as representatives from each one of the recommended firms. So if you have any questions, we'll be glad to take them. Thank you.
Let's open. Do you want to add anything?
Sure. Whistler Pierre-Louis, Public Works Director. And I understand that the first question would be why? Why are we doing this? And anyone turning on their TVs recently, you'll probably see news regarding the crumbling infrastructure. Specifically in South Florida, we have an aging infrastructure, which is, in North Miami specifically, probably about 60 years old. These sewer systems need to be repaired. Everyone expects that when they flush their toilet, that it doesn't back up into their house, or it doesn't end up on the road or in a body of water. So that's the main reason that we're proceeding with these repairs. In addition to that, we have to comply with our regulations. We're a volume sewer customer of Miami-Dade, and per Miami-Dade's code, chapter 24, along with our operating permit number 00029, we have to keep the infiltration in our system under 5,000 gallons per day per IDM. What we did is we investigated throughout the entire city, and we found specific locations that exceeded that threshold. Therefore, in order to remain in compliance with our permit, we have to address the sewer breaks and sewer areas that exceed the threshold by repairing the manholes, the main lines, and the laterals. This is something that's proposed to be done citywide, as was mentioned. And a quick summary of the different groups include 63 point repairs, 170 manholes to be repaired, about 67,000 lines to be lined, and 93 laterals. That is why we're doing this, and that's a quick
Can you
synopsis
repeat
of the
that?
why.
Can you repeat
It's roughly
slowly your information?
60 point repairs, 170 manhole repairs or replacements, 67,000 linear feet of main lines to be lined or repaired, and 93 laterals.
Throughout the city.
Throughout the city.
Do you have any idea on how much money it's going to cost totally for the whole thing if we have to do if you have to fix everything? An estimate.
The $4.2 million is
No, I'm
based
talking
on
about.
those numbers.
That's what you're gonna do with the $4.2 million.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is now open.
William Prevotel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive. Certainly, this is something that needs to be done. I have a question that I hope will have a positive answer, and that is, an engineering firm was mentioned that was retained to do this initial bidding and to oversee this. I assume, but I would like confirmation, that that same firm or another firm will be there to meticulously inspect that the $4 million is being spent as it's supposed to be, because I doubt if anybody in this room will be meticulously inspecting our sewer system anytime soon. So it's a matter of making sure that we're getting our money's worth and that it's being done properly. If we could just get confirmation, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any answer to that question?
No.
We usually don't do that, but it's a specific question like that.
As of right now, we do not have that contract with that consultant to continue to work. However, we have been doing this for several years, approving it and reviewing the pay applications and inspecting the work with in-house staff.
Okay, that's mean in-house you do
Yes,
that.
in-house, yes.
That's what we want to know. It doesn't
Oh,
have
I
to
thought
be an
you said-
outside
Okay,
consultant.
yeah, we have someone in-house to do it. yes.
Okay, thank you. Public hearing still open on the item?
Veronica Guzman, 540 Northwest 127th Street. I just want some, I guess, layman's term and clarification in order to justify spending this 4.2 million. What exactly does the excavation mean? What does rehabbing the manhole mean? Lining and things of that nature. A lot of residents don't work in that field, and I just want to know what each item would cover in order to justify this 4.2 million.
Thank you very much. Obviously, at the end, we're going to answer this question. Do we have any other questions? Public hearing still open on the item. Public hearing is now closed. Do you want to elaborate on that? It's just lemon term is repairing our sewer system.
Yes, layman's terms, it's, I understand it's not something that people see, it's all underground. However, under the ground, you have pipes due to age. Sometimes it's actually due through some type of construction, the pipes break. And what you do is you insert a liner into that pipe to restore the integrity of the main, to close the hole. That's the gist of the project. You have manholes as well, which deteriorate where the walls of the manholes break or leak. You coat them, you replace the entire manhole. So I hope that explains what's done. I know it's hard without visuals, but it's pretty much replacing broken pipes or replacing or repairing broken manholes.
Between water and sewer project last year, do you have an idea of how much money we spent between the water plant and the sewer?
The water plant was approximately $3.6 million. We had 3 pump stations that were approved last year. We've only made progress on 2 of them. They were approximately $1 million each. We awarded 1 contract for sewer repairs last year as well for $1 million. We also approved 1 contract for $1.6 million for TV inspections.
Okay. What about the Northeast 6th Avenue? How much money we spend on that?
That was done 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any question on the that? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yes.
So you said that we have to do this because we have infiltration of more than 5,000 pounds, or is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Is this job we're doing, will that leave additional, is this gonna take care of the infiltration for all of our pipes, or just the ones that exceed the county limit?
We prioritize by addressing the locations that exceed the county limit first. And from that point on, we can go on beyond that and make repairs as needed. But that's our top priority, is to bring us back in compliance.
So this is strictly for infiltration. It will help with the lines and sewers, but it's really only an infiltration issue at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. I just want to say to the manager, if ever we were going to put out a press release that said something that the city is doing that's really good, this is it. Fort Lauderdale is falling apart. There's a giant leak. Every week you turn around, we're being, proactive. Hats off, Whistler, to you and your staff for putting this together. Let's get these lines fixed. It's gonna be a long process, but I'm very, very happy to see this going forward right now.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know it's very important that we must get our sewer lines in order. And I know you're saying we're trying to get in compliance with the county infiltration level, but I have a couple of technical questions for you, Mr. Pierre-Louis or Mr. Estrada. In reference to the number of sewer holes that we have to fix throughout the city, do we have a total? Do we have an amount? Or is this it tonight? Or what's that bigger picture? And I know you say you have a list. I certainly haven't seen the list. I don't know if anyone else up here have. When can that list be made public, or when can we have information on that list? Because you telling us what's the priority or whatever your study has deemed to be the priority, but I haven't seen it. So the first question and then the second question regarding the list.
Sure. This is an ongoing process. The consent decree was initially ordered in 1996. We're actually in the second cycle. It's ongoing, meaning that every year we go out and inspect the sewer mains and make the repairs based on what we see. So what we have identified up to this point is what's listed in the bid, which are the numbers that I summarized earlier on. So really right now what you have for this solicitation is to address the locations that are currently out of compliance.
That's what I'm saying,
We'll
sir.
continue to investigate, and if we find additional locations, we will address those as well.
Okay, so at first I thought you said there was a list of priority location. So now there is a list, or there is not a list, or it's your department that comes up with the recommendation of those locations? I just wanted to be clear on the record. What are we, because this is something vital, but I want to make sure that I get the right information on something that we need, and where we're not looking at fixing one part of the problem and then where we have other part of the problem. So I'm trying to get a clarification, and this has nothing to do with the item. I am in support of. However, I need to make sure that we up here, or especially me, have the right information. So again, my question is, do you have a list of priority location that you did a study throughout the city? Or is this a list of your department going out and assume these are the locations that are not in compliance with the county?
Councilman, this is not, there are no assumptions. This list, which is included in the facility plan, the resolution was approved last year, or maybe in 2018. That facility plan included a list of all of the locations where this work is proposed.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So that list, when can we see that list of those locations? And how many locations are those? Do you know how many throughout the city?
Roughly, we have 12 basins that were out of compliance.
And these are the 12?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
So the list is the sheet of paper that
Okay, that's what I wanted. So whatever priority that you have, this is the list. We're not missing any locations or anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you.
You done?
Yes.
Yeah. I have a question. How many sites do we have throughout the city?
We have 44 pump stations that are owned and maintained by the city of North Miami.
So we have 44.
Yes.
And out of the 44, the 12 sites that you're citing are the sites that need immediate attention?
Yes, Councilman.
Okay.
Any questions? Can I hear a motion on the item?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab H. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
Mr. Manager, can you get me that list sometime soon? Mr. Deputy?
Tab I, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the interim city manager and city attorney to submit an application in order to obtain project financing under the Florida Department of Environmental Protection State Revolving Fund Program, SRF, for the North Miami Infiltration Reduction Project. Further authorizing the interim city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement between the City of North Miami and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, FDEP, in order to obtain SRF financing, establishing pledged revenues, designating authorized representatives, and providing assurances of compliance with program requirements, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes. Tab I.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Whistler Pierre Lewis, Public Works Director. Tab I is a companion item to Tab H. For this item, we are requesting your approval to submit a loan application to fund the sewer repair project. This will be the third loan application that the city is submitting. We had two submitted before. One included the upgrades to 3 force mains throughout the city. And the second one we spoke about earlier, it was regarding the filter rehabilitation for the water plant, which project was just completed last year.
How much
And
was it?
It
How
was,
much?
the filter was $3.6 million.
Are you
With-
done with the,
No, sorry. So with Resolution 29-R-48, the council approved a facility plan, which the wording was that the mayor and city council have determined that the approval of the attached facility plan for wastewater collection and transmission systems to allow the city to obtain necessary funding in accordance with SRF guidelines is in the best interest of the city. Continuing in that same path, we're now submitting the loan application. And I'll just read from the council report. The city of North Miami is applying for project construction funding through the FDEP SRF program. This program has made funds available under project number WW13186 for North Miami Inflow Infiltration Reduction Project. The construction project funding request is approximately $4.2 million and does not include capitalized interest. Once the loan agreement is provided by the SRF program, the City of North Miami will outline all costs in agreement along with the estimated semi-annual repayment. The repayment starts within 2 years of approval date of the agreement or 6 months after construction, whichever is the latest. Included in the council item are the loan application, the legal opinion provided by the city attorney's office, and the council resolution. This was a collaborative effort between the finance department and the city attorney's office. And we have the finance director who is also available if you should have any questions regarding the loan.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to have the finance director, Mr. Miguel Augustine, kind of explain the reason why we do these particular loan applications, SRF loans applications.
All right. Good evening, Miguel Augustine, Finance Director. Essentially, the purpose of using debt financing is to be able to preserve our cash flow and to be able to manage our cash abilities. So if we use other people's money, it's better than using our own. And it gives us flexibility in the long term to be able to, budget and to be able to preserve our cash flow for operations. And especially given our current situation, it's something that would benefit the city to be able to have as little cash outflow as possible in the short term. And if we need to, we have the flexibility to pay the loan off earlier to be able to, if in the future things improve, we can make decisions to secure that.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make sure that you are aware this money for this particular project was budgeted. The $4.2 million was budgeted. The actual budgeted amount was $6 million. However, once we did get all of our quotes to move forward with the project, the amount came down to $4.2 million. So we changed the amount accordingly. I did provide you with the amortization schedule that will show the payments if we did do the SRF loan application originally, and then we did budget for it, but we were made aware by our consultants on the outside that this funding was available for these types of projects. So that's why us doing our due diligence, we've brought this forward, seeking your approval.
Let me, just a quick question before we open it. The $4.2 million has nothing to do with the previous SRF loan that we had for the water plant.
Mr. Mayor, no, it's a separate loan agreement.
Separate. The other one for 3.6 also was not a part of that fund.
No,
The
each,
water one.
each project has a separate loan agreement.
Okay. The question is, the money is in the budget, but instead of take the money and you propose that we borrow the money at a low interest so we can keep our cash flow. That's what it is. So public hearing is open on the item.
Let me add, Mr. Mayor, also the current interest rates for SRF funding is of approximately 1.8%.
Thank you. Public hearing is open. Anyone from the public? William Privatel? No questions? You okay with it? Thank you very
Move
much.
approval.
Second.
Close, and public hearing is now closed. Now, any question on the dais? Yes. go ahead.
I do have a question. During briefing, I told staff that I would not be in support of this item, and I'll explain why. At first, I did hear that, I thought this was something that we did not budget for, and I know we are talking about, being fiscal responsible, and having, a cash flow, but that does not justify, although we don't have to pay it now, but for 30 years for us to borrow, for us to pay $800,000 on $4 million that we do have. And I do understand, and the argument I made with staff is if this was your money and you wanted to buy a car, that's the example that I use. If you had the money, all of us, if we had our mortgage, we'll pay it cash. But if we don't have it, I understand the borrowing mechanism. So I don't understand, and I cannot support it consciously, knowing that we do have the money, but we need the money for cash flow. So what would be the purpose of my first question of budgeting if we had the money, but we want to use somebody else's money, which might be smart, but however, looking at these interests, although it's low, it's it's $800,000 at the end of the day, if we decide to go to 30 years, whichever amount of years to pay it back. So, I'm just not fully in support of that, and especially if we're talking about financial responsibility and all this being fiscal responsibility, I just do not think this was being responsible, and I share that with staff, and I'm just not there to say we have the money, but yet we want to borrow and then pay interest so that we could have cash flow, although we budget for the money. So to me, I don't understand that, and just because it's not ours, we just have to be careful. And I know a lot of folks want to talk about, other things, I don't want to name them, but they certainly do come up when it comes to budget, but we got to look at the whole picture. And I may not even be on here when we start paying this back, but we still have to look at the debt that we leave behind as council people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any question? Councilwoman Estime? No question? Yes.
Through you to, Miguel, what type of interest return are we getting on the money sitting in our, enterprise funds?
In the enterprise fund, well, from Bank of America, we get 0.25%.
How much?
0.25%.
0.25%.
Right.
Okay.
I think on a financial standpoint, it's not too bad, and in that regards, Councilman Desilme, and since we are try to making sure our budget is balanced, and when you take in consideration the deficit that we have, that's mean if we keep even though the money is in the budget, if we can save the money, I think at the end of the year, and we're gonna reduce our deficit, and on a financial standpoint, I think it's good for the city. Paying it, if you have $4 million at the bank, and you borrow $4 million, and you have to pay $800 for 30 years, I think in a financial standpoint, it's a good deal for the city. it's like when you're buying a car, understand that if you have $50,000 at the bank and you buy, instead of borrowing the money and get a loan, you take the $50,000 and you buy new cars. When you take in consideration the depreciation, after 2 years, if the car is totaled, the bank not gonna replace the car and you won't be able to buy the same car. I think on a financial standpoint, it's not too bad, and it's better to keep the money for cash flow, be able to balance our budget or reducing our deficit for next year, and just borrow the money from a bank and paying about 20,000 a year on interest. I think it's not bad for financial structure. And can I hear motion on the item if there is no other question? You want to make comment?
No, you already have a motion and second.
Yes.
Wait, Scott made a motion, didn't you?
I'll remake the motion just for
And
clarity.
I'll re-second it.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab I. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Item passes with a 4-1 vote. Tab J. Proposed ordinance, second reading, of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 5 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Building Standards and Regulations, Article 1, in general, specifically at Section 5-2 to add a definition for board-up materials, and Article 3, storm shutters, specifically at Section 5-9 entitled Storm Shutters Placement, by removing Section 3 and 4 and allowing for clarification of removal of board-up materials and their use, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date. Tab J.